I think you guys want Fran Brown to remain the head coach of Syracuse football. Is that a crazy take? You probably like Fran Brown. You want him to stay. I mean, look, I've criticized him before here on Locked On Syracuse, and he will continue to get criticized on Locked On Syracuse. It's just bound to happen. It's part of the job. And I am not walking it back. I don't walk back my criticism of Fran Brown, but I've also said many times on this podcast that I do believe in him and that I do think he is the right coach for this program, and that ultimately I see the vision. And then I'm not letting this 2025 season, notice how we really haven't talked about this season of Syracuse football. I'm not letting this year overshadow what I think is to come for Syracuse football. I see what Fran Brown is building. That is why Syracuse football must extend Fran Brown as soon as possible. This is a non-negotiable. If you are Syracuse football and you are looking around the landscape of college football, you got to get ahead of this. And hopefully they are. Hopefully an extension is basically already agreed upon. Wouldn't that be great if that were true? I have no idea. But that's what Syracuse football needs to do now. They must extend Fran Brown. Why? We'll go over that in just a moment. But first, I am confident that Fran Brown will not be offered one of the big three head coach positions that are currently available. I don't think LSU is going to hire him. I don't think Florida is going to hire him. And I don't think Penn State is going to hire him either. Of those three, Penn State is probably the most likely just because of proximity and the Northeast connection and all that and more resources at Penn State. So Penn State makes the most sense of those three, but I don't think any of those three are actually going to hire Fran Brown. And I am also confident that if the Ole Miss job opened up, Lane Kiffin gets snatched up from Florida LSU, that Ole Miss would also not hire Fran Brown, because the reality is Syracuse football this season is 3-5. Good luck selling those fan bases on a head coach of a Power 4 football team that could very well miss a bowl this season. In fact, it is highly likely they're going to miss a bowl. They could go 3-9. That is on the table. And I don't wish that, but it is a reality. They could go 3-9. Maybe they go 4-8. Perhaps they go 5-7. They beat North Carolina on Friday. They beat Boston College to close the regular season. So at least Syracuse, yeah, they'll lose to Miami, they lose to Notre Dame, but they beat the really bad teams of the ACC. They go 5-7, and they miss a bowl by one game. But regardless, you're not selling those fan bases on a coach that just missed a bowl at Syracuse. I grew up a Florida Gators fan. I know how 15-year-old Jackson Holzer would react to it. And I understand that most of the fan base is not Jackson Holzer at 15 years old. I am a little cuckoo. I am a little nuts. Don't worry. I understand my flaws. I get it. I'm a little crazy. But I think even the rational fans would not necessarily be on board. But us Syracuse fans, we know how good Fran Brown is and can be for this program. So reason number one, why should Syracuse football give Fran Brown an extension? It's because he's actually good. That's why. We remember last year where they went 10-3 and they won the Holiday Bowl. That's pretty nice. That shows winning. I understand it's one season, but it does show that he can build a winning team, and he did it in 1 year. We know he is a fantastic recruiter. He got 5-star wide receiver Calvin Russell to commit to Syracuse over every other school in the country. Anyone could have gotten him, but Syracuse did. He's the highest rated Syracuse football recruit in well over 2 decades, which we documented over the summer, by the way. This is also a point that I made in the summer of 2024, believe it or not, but I really haven't brought it up since. The fact that Fran Brown came to Syracuse and he convinced pretty much every star on the team to stay with the program is just a testament to how good he is at building relationships. Aronde Gadsden could have left in the portal when Dino Babers was fired. LaQuinn Allen could have done the same thing. Elijah Clark, Justin Barron nearly did. Marlo Wax could have entered the portal. And who could blame him? Because that's the trend in college sports. Your coach leaves, so do the players. You got to remake the roster. You got to remake your recruiting class. That's just this day and age of college sports. It didn't really happen with Syracuse. He kept most of the elite talent that was already there. And then, you bring in Kyle McCord, you bring in Fidel Diggs. Next thing you know, you got yourself a 10-3 team. Pretty nice year in 2024, right? I also want to talk about how Fran Brown is not afraid. He looked at his roster. He knew he needed a quarterback. He went out. He got Ricky Collins in the portal in the fall. Actually, it was in December, but regardless, it's technically the fall window. Back when there were 2 windows, there's only 1 window this time around. Thank goodness, by the way. He got Ricky Collins from LSU. Wanted to check him out, see what he's got. And he's not ever going to admit this publicly. He says it in a nice way. He says it in a way where, yeah, we got Steve Angeli because we needed more experience in the quarterback room. You want to know why he got Steve Angeli? Want to know why he really did it? We can all read between the lines. It's because he watched Ricky Collins for months. And he recognized his mistake. And I give him credit for recognizing his mistake instead of doubling down on the mistake and saying, screw it, I paid Ricky Collins. I'm going to go make him the starting quarterback and we'll see what happens. He goes, no, I made a mistake. He's not good enough. He's not ready. I'm going to go get Steve Angeli, who just became available from Notre Dame. And there's a relationship already there. He'll come in and he's going to be the starting quarterback. Yeah, I know. I'm going to say to everyone that it's a quarterback competition and that Ricky Collins is close, but we know the deal. We've watched the games. We understand Steve Angeli is the better quarterback and will probably always be the better quarterback. And he was the right guy to get. And I commend Fran Brown for that. Because how many other coaches in the country would actually have done what he did? Where they would have realized the mistake and then instead of doubling down on it, going out and getting someone else when you had the opportunity to do so. So Fran Brown is good. He's good. He's perfect for Syracuse. He wants to remain with Syracuse. Extend him.